What's up, guys? This is Kephas, and I have been having so much fun with World of Warcraft this week because the pre-release for Battle for Azeroth came out and allied races were unlocked. Now, things started off really exciting for me because on my ongoing quest to never actually pay for anything for this game out of my own pocket, I was able to buy the entire expansion with gold. And now with all these new allied races in, I'm going to be wanting to buy some race changes, so I need to be hunting some more gold and buying some more WoW tokens. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The first thing I had to do was unlock the allied races. And so once I went to the embassy, I knew right away that I had 3 of the 4 races unlocked. Basically, each race had a faction that had to be exalted, and there was a quest line that was connected to an achievement that I had to finish. Basically, if you've been playing this game throughout Legion, you probably have all this stuff done, but for me, there was one that I was missing. So, High Mountain Tauren, check. Lightforged Draenei, check. Void Elves, check. Nightborn, I still need to do the Insurrection achievement. So I had to go out to Suramar and do the Insurrection quest line, which honestly wasn't that bad, except for one stupid quest that had me do 5 Order Hall missions. That definitely slowed things down, which really sucked, but I did get tons of AP out of the whole thing, so that's fine. But now with all the prerequisites out of the way, it's time to get these races unlocked. Now, since I did all these prerequisites on one Horde character, I was a little bit worried that my Alliance character wouldn't have the prerequisites, but fortunately these are account-wide, and so since they're tied to achievements and all, so I was able to unlock the allied races on my Alliance character. I just needed to have a level 110 Alliance character, and I did, so it was all fine and good. So I went through the process of unlocking all of the allied races, and unfortunately it seems like it's something that I can only do one time, so I don't have any footage to show. But each allied race has a little quest line that you go through where you accompany your faction's ambassador to that race, and it all leads up to why they join your faction, and then you unlock them. And I have to say, having to go through and unlock each of these allied races one by one really made it feel that much more special once having them unlocked. You know, getting a mount reward and then a complete race unlock across my account really felt great, and I hope that we get more account-wide unlocks of this magnitude in the future for future races, allied races, and even classes, more than just having a level requirement, which is kind of lame. Having to go through a little quest line and some gameplay to actually unlock things on your account, in my opinion, is a good thing. As for the quest lines themselves, they all kind of had a range, some having more for you to do than others, but they all did a pretty decent job at explaining the allied race and why they joined the faction that they join. They did a really good job at keeping the spotlight on the allied races and the ambassador, and less on you, even though you do play a role in the stories that unlock these allied races. For example, my favorite questline was the one that unlocked the Lightforged Draenei, mainly because of one specific character, Tepartos! In order to become a Lightforged Draenei, regular Draenei go through this ritual that is very dangerous, and so they need to take on a partner, so Tepartos chooses you as his partner, and you go through this really cool, kind of endearing ritual for this character, Tepartos, who is kind of brazen at the surface, but he does have his doubts, just like everybody else, and he has to essentially choose between light and darkness, and of course he chooses the light in the end, and overall it just really made this character really cool, and seeing how the ritual takes place was a great introduction to the Lightforged Draenei overall. So that one was, in my opinion, perfectly executed. The High Mountain Tauren questline was a good continuation of the High Mountain storyline. The Void attacks Thunderbluff, and it leads to you accompanying Bane to High Mountain to fight off the Void there as well. The 2 Tauren factions team up, and with your help, fight off the Void, and ultimately the High Mountain Tauren join the Horde. Pretty straightforward. But the quests were pretty lore-rich, reminding you of how much of a threat the old gods are. There was a lot of teasing for them, and it also reminds you of how awesome Bane Bloodhoof is. Great stuff. The questlines for the Void Elves was pretty great too, as it involved you accompanying Illyria to help a bunch of Blood Elves who have been touched by the Void and are going mad. You help fight off the Void, and Illyria promises to teach these elves who have now been changed by the Void how to not go completely insane. So, since they're with Illyria, I guess that means they're with the Alliance, which, okay, fine, but then there's the Nightborn stuff, and this is where things get really confusing. Now, by confusing, I don't necessarily mean that it's bad. It's just going to be interesting to see where they go with it. Basically what happens is you accompany Lady Liadrin to Suramar to speak with Thalasria. And Thalasria explains that basically Tyrande was being a winchbag and didn't trust the Nightborn, so they wanted to hear what the Blood Elves had to say. So you all head out to Silvermoon to speak to Lorthamar, and Lyria happens to be there. She has a proposal from Anduin, basically wanting everybody to join the Alliance. But Lorthamar is like, nah fam, and then Illyria and the Nightborn want to check out the Sunwell, so you head there, and Illyria's presence triggers the Void. It's questionable whether the Void was after Illyria herself, or the Sunwell and the core of the Naru, but nevertheless, we fight off the Void, and then Illyria essentially gets permabanned from Silvermoon. And since the Nightborn and the Blood Elves share many similarities, particularly that they were both rejected by the Night Elves, Thalasria accepts Lorthamar's proposal and the Nightborn join the Horde. Overall, it was a pretty good story, and it brought out even more questions, which is great. You always want that. The whole thing did make Tyrande look pretty bad, though. She's becoming yet another female character in this game that is a cold, unforgiving twat waffle. Hopefully they're going somewhere with this. I mean, clearly Anduin and Tyrande are not on the same page, at least when it comes to recruiting the other elf factions. Maybe this will lead to friction amongst leaders of the same faction, and we can shake up the whole Alliance versus Horde thing. But it is kind of weird that while Blood Elves and Nightborn are being rejected by Alliance leaders, the Void Elves, who are just Blood Elves on the brink of going insane by the Void, are somehow joining the Alliance. Hopefully they will expand on this, because there's a lot of things they could do with it, but if they don't, then this makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But all in all, it was a lot of fun, and it's very exciting to see these sub-races come into the game, and it's even more exciting to think about which sub-races will be coming next. We know that Zandalari Trolls, Dark Iron Dwarves, and the Draenei Orcs will be coming in the future, but what else are they going to add? A lot of people will mention things like the Pandaren races, the Hosen, the Jinyu, and while I think it would be great if those races do come to the game, I think they would just be added as regular races. Allied races are more sub-races, meaning that they are variations of races that we already have. Lightforged Draenei are just a variation of Draenei, High Mountain Tauren are just a variation of Tauren, Draenor Orcs, Zandalari Trolls, and Dark Iron Dwarves also follow the same theme. Void Elves and Nightborn do shake things up a little bit, but they are still variations of other races. Void Elves are variations of Blood Elves, and Nightborn are variation of Night Elves. So future allied races will probably follow the same kind of idea. So my money would be on mechagnomes, like gnomes that are robots, which would be freaking awesome, and whatever the heck Nathanos is. A subrace of human undead that is still in their original bodies. A subrace that would allow the Horde to play a variation of humans, just like Void Elves allow the Alliance to play a variation of Blood Elves. Either way, it will be extremely exciting to see what allied races are coming. And feel free to let me know what allied races you would like to see in the comments. And while you're at it, it's time to vote. We are smack dab in the middle of WoW leveling Season 2 with a Worgen Druid. However, there have been significant changes made to leveling, and now with these new allied races in, I thought it might be a good opportunity to level up one of these allied races here on YouTube. So I'm going to allow you to pick between the 4 allied races, or if you want me to continue with the Worgen Druid, there will be an option for that as well. And rest assured that if we begin a new leveling series with one of the allied races, we will return to the Worgen Druid at some point in the future. Thank you so much for voting. I cannot wait to see the results. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that like button. And feel free to share it with your friends so they can enjoy it as well. You can also subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter at TheKephas to be notified as soon as new videos are posted. Thanks for watching, have a wonderful day, this is Kephas, until next time.